A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am PM-WANI. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 12th December 2020. Day is Saturday, and I would like to start today's discussion with this very interesting, very important quote by Arthur Ashe. Start where you are. Use what you have, do what you can. Dear friends, this quote reminds me of a very famous actor, a very interesting person, Boman Irani. I'm sure you know Boman Irani. He played this very famous characters like Viru Sahasrabuddhe in Three Idiot, and then he was this Dean Asthana of this film called Munabai MBBS, and then Lagoreho Munabai, he was that Sardarji, and he played very interesting other roles as well. Now, if you see or if you go through the life of Boman Irani, you will find that this person, of course, he's very talented, but he worked hard as well, very hard to reach where he is now. But you will find that this man has used whatever he used to have. He never, if you go through his life, then you will find that he was never waiting for that right moment. He created right moments. So start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and then you will reach there. With this, dear friends, if you are preparing for UPSC Prelims 2021, then we have launched a test series. You will get 40 tests in it. 50% discount is available till 14th December. To find out more about it, visit testiq.in. To download the PDF of today's lecture, which is already available on my Telegram channel, join my Telegram channel to let other people know about this particular series, and please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Democracy's Sanctity. This particular article is about, it's a very interesting article from Times of India, and it starts with this fact that a few days ago, remember Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he laid the foundation stone of this new Parliament building, right? Remember this Central Vista? And it was in news because Supreme Court has put a stay. The Supreme Court said that you can go ahead with the foundation stone ceremony, but you cannot start construction until you get green signal from Supreme Court because of this environmental thing and environmental issues that are associated with this new construction. Now, dear friends, Prime Minister Modi, we are not going to talk about environment here. We are going to focus on the role of discussion in democracy. Prime Minister Modi said that, India has proved those naysayers wrong who had doubted whether democracy would be successful here. When our country achieved independence at that point of time, we opted that we need to go for a democratic country. And there were many Western world and many countries, right? Many people in our country as well, they were saying that we are so diverse, how we are going to survive? And there were so many people, they were very sure at that point of time. They said that democracy will never survive. India is not made for democracy. People are used to with monarchy, and you are introducing democracy here. So this is not going to work in India. But our country and all of us together, we proved those no-sayers or naysayers wrong. Today our country is a democratic country. From last 74 years, we have seen that our country has matured. Our democracy has matured enough. I'm not saying that we are living in a perfect democracy, to be honest. To be very fair, we are not. But the good thing is that if you see our last 7-8 decades, then you find that we have moved ahead. If not radically, but incrementally, we have improved so many things in our country. And thanks to our democracy. Now, dear friends, remember the fuel or the heart or the brain of democracy is a dialogue. That's what democracy is all about. It is very natural, and this is how it should be in a democratic country, that even if you are a very famous leader, now we all know that Mr. Modi is a very famous leader of our country, right? We saw Modi wave in 2014 and at that point of time, it was we used to feel, or there was this feeling that it is at this, this is the time of Modi era, and you cannot defeat a party that has a leader like Mr. Modi. But then as well, after Modi becoming Prime Minister, we saw in few states BJP lost various different elections. So this is not a defeat of BJP or defeat of Mr. Modi. This is victory of democracy. You know what I'm saying? This is a big picture that I'm trying to present in front of you. This is how it should be. At central level, people voted for BJP. Maximum people of our country voted for BJP. In various different states, in third tier election, your municipal election, in various different cities, we have different parties ruling it. So this indicates, in fact, Delhi, look at Delhi. You have Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from AAP party, and in the same city you find Prime Minister Narendra Modi from BJP. So this is democracy, and democracy flourishes because of dialogue. Dialogue is very important. In today's world, we are living in such a beautiful world today that if you know how to use dialogue properly, if two parties are ready to talk, then they can solve any problem, right? Husband, wife, they can solve any problem, right? Within family, if you have any issue, you can sort it out. Between two families, or maybe between two states, or maybe between two nations or multiple nations, we can solve our problems through dialogue. It may take time, but this is the best way. Without shedding even a drop of blood, you can solve your issues. So this is the strength of dialogue and talks. You can, when dialogues fail, remember, you will find we find wars, and if you want to stop a war, then as well you need dialogue. So this is again one example of demonstrating or highlighting the strength of dialogue and talks. Now, Parliament is a place, is a temple where our representatives, they sit, they deliberate, they debate, they pass laws. So it is very, very important for them that they go through each and every bits and pieces of any particular law. When a topic is important for our society, for our nation, for example, Farm Bill, which affects nearly 50% of Indian population. So this itself indicates, this one fact itself indicates that this particular bill is very important. So we need to have a thorough discussion when it comes to this sort of topics. Unfortunately, we saw some, short circuits like Aadhaar Act was passed and electoral bonds. This sort of bills were passed as money bills. So this is not right. This looks like we are following steps of China. Now, many people in our country, and I'm sure you have heard about this thing, that many people say that the reason why China is able to achieve this sort of growth is because they don't have to answer. The government is not forced to answer to anyone. Government can take any decisions it likes, and this becomes easier, and they can enforce rules and regulations, and that's how they are moving ahead with a very good speed. But we forget, when we focus too much on quantity, so growth is about quantity. 8%, 10% growth it's about quantity. It's like a family, we see so many families in our society, they are very rich, they have all the luxurious things in their house, and they have very big house and cars and everything. But you see the quality of people living inside that house. Not all, of course, we have this sort of examples as well, that quality of people, you find that they don't have that class, they don't have that ethos, they don't have that values. And on the other side, you find a family that is not that much rich, middle class maybe, or lower middle class, but they have the education and so many other things. You find that their family values and their sanskars and everything is up to the mark. So it's like China and India. We are a democratic country, though we are not as rich as China, though we are not running that fast as far as growth is concerned. But in terms of quality, in terms of development, democracy is 1,000 times better in long run compared to autocratic nation like China. The failure to convene Parliament's winter session is a missed opportunity. We are not going, it looks like things are not going in right direction. We have decided not to conduct this winter session. So this is how we are going to inform our MPs, how we are going to take them into confidence. In recent days, Angela Merkel of Germany, Boris Johnson of UK, and Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand, helping parliamentary democracies like India, have made powerful use of parliamentary forum to communicate on vaccine and issues related with it. So, discussion, we know the importance of discussion, we know the importance of dialogue. So we should not do anything that hampers it. In fact, we should find out opportunities through which we can discuss and deliberate and refine things. We have one more article, very interesting article, not exactly similar, but it is associated with it. So I don't want to bore you guys. So first I would like to talk about this particular topic, and then we will talk about that topic. Connecting more people. Here we are going to talk about PM-WANI. PM-WANI is Prime Minister Wi-Fi Access Network Interface, PM-WANI scheme. This scheme is approved by Union Cabinet. So what is the main aim of this scheme? Bringing broadband internet to remote locations at minimum investment and giving subscribers the option to make small need-based payments to use it. So if you want to use internet, of course we have internet in our phone, isn't it? 4G. But we know that broadband is far better, right? You find people, if they enter into a Wi-Fi zone, they will be very quick to ask for a Wi-Fi password, because you can do so many things. When you have broadband, it's much faster, of course, much comfortable. It's less draining. It will drain your batteries less compared to your struggling network of 4G if you are in that place. So these are some of the benefits, of course. Now, dear friends, remember this STD PCO booth? I'm not sure how many of you have used it, because I believe most of you are in your early 20s, right? Somewhere around 24, 25. So if you are 24, 25, then yes, when you were 10, 12 years old, or maybe a bit younger than that, you remember this STD PCO booth, right? So if you want to make a sort of foreign call, right, international call, then you visit this place. And when I was 10, 15, between that age, it was very common. Not everyone used to have landline telephones, so to connect with their relatives or business call or whatever, they used to use this STD. So it was like, you don't need to pay, you need to pay just a small amount when you use it based on your need. So that's what government is trying to do with PM-WANI. That's why I have this example of STD PCO or STD ISD PCO for you guys. So potentially internet access will connect a new wave of users, not just to commercial and entertainment options, but also education, telehealth, agricultural extension, and there are so many other things, right? Government services and so many other things. So it's not just about using internet for if you want to see something or watch something on your YouTube or Netflix or any other. It's not just limited to internet. This will, just imagine a farmer, right? Now just try to connect this whole thing with farmer or a person, artisan, right? Handicraft, a person who is creating or who is associated with handicraft. Now we know that they cannot afford a 2,000 per month internet. Then don't need that much internet, isn't it? They don't need 24/7 access to internet like many of us. So what they can do is whenever they want to, whenever they have, let's say, created something, let's say they have created some new stuff, right? And they want to sell these items on the internet, on Amazon or any other platform. What they will do is they will take pictures and everything, and they will, do editing or whatever they want to do with their pictures. Someone will write down description for them and everything, and then they will go to this so-called booth and connect their computer or connect their laptop or whatever. Of course, laptop, or when I say computer, I'm talking about laptop. It's not physically possible for you to carry your PC, but you can take your mobile phone or maybe your laptop or tablet or whatever, and then you can upload your pictures quickly if you don't have good 4G connection. This is just one example. Let's say if you are a graphic editor, you are working for a very big company, used to be located in an office in Bangalore or Mumbai, but now due to COVID-19, your company has decided that you can work from home if you want, if you have all these facilities, and if you have to, let's say, submit your data once a week, right? If you are a graphic designer, let's say, you know what you are making for next few months. So what you will do is you can create those things in your computer. You don't need internet for that. And once you create that thing, you can upload your files and everything. You can visit to this nearest point and you can pay a small fee and then you can upload. So this is the main idea, right? So it's just one rough example for you guys to understand. And there are so many other things. Once you will have it, then people will use it. And once people will start using it, they will find their own ways of using it. So it's like you create a platform and then you never know how people will use it. It may fail as well. It's not like it will succeed. But I think the chances of its success is quite high, because the thing is, what government is trying to achieve via this PM-WANI is that you don't need to have permission to get this PCO license. You have to pay a bribe, and there were so many people applying for PCO. So it was not that easy. But here, you can just register online and you will get your new source of income. Someone will come to your tea stall, and if they want to use it, they can use this PM-WANI internet, and they will have to pay for, let's say, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, whatever it is, right? A 10% rise in net penetration led to a 1.4% increase in GDP. Just imagine if we expand, or if we improve this internet penetration by 10%, it can add 1.4%. 1.4% increase in our GDP. And look at the potential here. When you go through villages, right, you find this thing that in our country, 27.57 subscribers out of 100, you will find 27.57 subscribers to internet. So huge potential, right? 70% market is still there for you, right? If you go through this figures here. So it opens up opportunities for community organizations like libraries, educational institutions, panchayats and small entrepreneurs to tap into a whole new ecosystem, purchasing bandwidth from a public data office aggregator to serve local consumers. What the citizens expect is robust service, protection of data integrity, transparency on commercial use of data, security against cyber attacks. And government should also work on this, ensuring this unbundling hardware, software, apps, payment gateways, etc. in WANI system, so that people will create more hardware, more software, more apps and payment gateways, so things will become easier for every one of us. Executed properly, the public data offices, PDOs of PM-WANI can do what the PCOs did for phones. It can trigger a new revolution. Pointing the finger at parliamentary scrutiny. The new farm bills passed by the Parliament in the last monsoon session have evoked a scale of protest unforeseen by the government. This is the topic that I was talking about. Now, dear friends, a few days ago as well, we have talked about something similar, that I told you this interesting and important point, that the main reason we find this farmers' protest is because of this bill. But why people or why farmers are not happy with this bill? The reason is that the government has not discussed this bill with farmers and very important stakeholders. It was promulgated, there was this ordinance, and then in the monsoon session, this bill was placed in the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha passed it very quickly. In Rajya Sabha, it was passed by a voice vote, and this is the main reason. Because this bill was not thoroughly discussed with farmers, they are not happy with it. Now, they are they are, angry to such an extent that farmers have made it clear that they don't want any changes with the bill. What they want is they want government to repeal, to delete this bill forever, and if necessary, introduce fresh laws, after having a thorough discussion with farmers and other stakeholders. That's what they are demanding at present. So if any government will pass laws and make laws in this haste, then I think the farmers and stakeholders are not wrong in demanding this thing. The government has to find a middle ground, or government has to find something. It has to do something about it. Now, Parliament is the supreme law-making body, as we all know. We have just discussed this thing, but I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this fact that the main person of the house, the speaker or the chairman. When it comes to Lok Sabha, we have speaker. When it comes to Rajya Sabha, we have chairman. So they have this authority. They can use their own discretion. They can use their own independent judgment to decide if they feel that a particular bill is important for the nation, for the society, then they can send this bill. A chairman or speaker can send this bill to a particular committee. But here what we find is that, you and I, we are not that much experienced compared to the speaker as well as the chairman of our Rajya Sabha. But I can and you can clearly say that if a bill is affecting 50%, you know that in our country 50% plus population is associated with agriculture. So if a bill is affecting 50% of our country population or more than 50%, then of course, right, it's very logical to say that this is a very important bill. And here we find that neither speaker nor the chairman has referred this bill to the standing committees for detailed scrutiny. So I would say that we need to create a sort of filter. We need to have a list, right? This is something that pops up in my mind. This is a suggestion from my side, right? That we need to do, what we need to do is we need to create a list of things. Like if a bill is associated with agriculture, with judiciary, with women's safety or empowerment and other important topics, then, because when we talk about women, right, 50%, roughly speaking, 50% population is women in our country. So all these sort of bills, all these sort of topics, you can make it mandatory that they should go to the committees. The committees, how it works is that they will, once you have a particular topic, once you send a bill to a committee, then the committee will invite various stakeholders and will collect views from them. It will present, they will have a discussion on it, and then they will find a way out. And see, drafts are prepared by officers, many IAS officers and so many other officers, right? But then as well, drafts are not perfect. It may sound a bit weird to you, but this is a reality. Even if you're the best IAS officers, right, you cannot say that he or she can create the best draft, or a team of officers they can create. Yes, they will create, they will try their level best. I'm not saying that they are not efficient or they are not capable, but when they will create a draft, right, they will have their own views and things. But when you present it in front of stakeholders, right, they will have their own views and things. And then you can refine. Then this is how you refine a particular law or bill. So although technically the reference to the committees is within the discretion of the speaker or the chairman, the intendment of the rules is that all important bills should go before the committee. So we need to work on this thing, right? As I told you, that we need to have a list, that when it comes to this list, you cannot even stop it. You have to, that bill or topic will go to a committee. And this is something, it's not this mandatory thing, but if you go through the history of British Parliament, then you find that they have this committees from 16th century, and they are using it today, and we are using it since our independence. Before independence as well, they created this in our, Central Legislative Assembly, which was like Parliament of British India. They used to have these committees on petitions and select committee of amendments of standing orders and select committees on bills. And we have used it, it has helped us a lot. Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Bill, Seeds Bill, then Lokpal and Lokayuktas Bill. So we have used these committees, and committees are, we have a tradition that parliamentary committees have a tradition of working in non-party manner. So everyone is out of camera. They work, within four walls, and you come from various different political parties, but when it comes to parliamentary committees, it's a good tradition that we have always focused on the subject rather than political backgrounds. So if we don't use it, or if we are trying to avoid it, then we are damaging our democracy, isn't it? Moving on to last topic of the day. This one is about vaccine rollout. Now, what to expect when the vaccine rolls out? First of all, we need to earmark 2020 in golden letters, because a process that used to take decades, we have achieved it in 9 to 10 months. Now, UK is the first country to roll out vaccine, and of course we are going to do it as quickly as possible. But the problem in our country is that we are very shrewd. Shrewd means we are very, this is a reality, and I'm sure you would agree when I say or use this word, that we are very cunning when it comes to claiming our benefits. We will make some phone calls to influential relatives or friends, that if your uncle or aunt, or if your mama or mommy, or anyone, Fua, or anyone is in politics or IAS or important person with good connection, then you will try your relation to make sure that your name is, or your family members get the vaccine as quickly as possible. The government is trying to inoculate 800 million people, or 800 million Indians before 2021, but we don't have, unfortunately, any clear public vaccine rollout plan till now. So this is, I believe, government is working on it, and if we are not, then we are making a very big mistake. So we need to have this plan as quickly as possible, and we are not sure yet whether this vaccine will be able to stop this chain of transmission, because we found this thing. We don't have that many examples, but we do have few examples, and we cannot take it lightly. Then we don't know for how long this vaccine is going to protect me, for 1 year, for 2 years, for 5 years. Not sure. So we need to work on this thing as well, because after, let's say, a few years, if the vaccine, if this virus itself upgrades itself, then this is going to be a big problem for us. So even after vaccine, I think we will have to follow 3S, that is social distancing, shielding through mask and sanitizing. Then comes cold chain infrastructure, like Pfizer vaccine. You have to store it below 70 degrees Celsius, right, or minus 70 degrees Celsius. So it's going to be a big challenge for so many countries like India to upgrade our logistics as well as storage system. But there are a few positives on our side, like PHCs, CHCs, ASHA workers, ANMs. So we have this network of professionals. We can upgrade them, we can educate them and train them, and then we can use them to deliver this vaccine to each and every person of our country. We have this electronic vaccination intelligence network. Now it is CoWIN, and it will, the main objective is real-time monitoring to make sure that every person is, whoever's name is on the list, they are getting this vaccine right time, and using technology for appointment and things. But for that we have to start using it, or start I'm sure we are creating a plan, government is creating a plan, but it should be rolled out as quickly as possible. Again, here as well, you can have a thorough discussion with the stakeholders so that no one is left behind. And we have to wait and watch for it. I think when it comes to BPL, government will provide it for free, but those people who can afford it, government will collect money from them, because there is a fiscal crunch going on, isn't it? And that's everything in today's discussion, dear friends. Download the PDF, and if you are preparing for UPSC, then we have a smart course as well. Find out more about it. Download our mobile app, and I will see you with daily financial news analysis. Enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.